our new podcast, Real Talk with the Gile Group. I want to thank everybody who gave your name suggestions to us. There were so many to choose from, and Real Talk with Gile Group just sounded like what worked for us, and our team all voted. So thank you so much, and congratulations to Jen for winning with her name suggestion. So also, if you missed our last podcast, you can actually just go to our YouTube channel. The link is in our bio, and check out the worst and best of 2021. So today we thought we would talk a little bit about what is happening in this market. We've had a crazy market for a while now, but in January, from December to January, our inventory has gone down so significantly that in Tualatin, we were representing a buyer just the other day, and that particular house had so much activity on it, so many showings. They ended up with over 10 offers on it, and it sold for over $100,000. I'm also talking to that same buyer. We missed out on that one. That same buyer, and we're looking at houses going anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000 over asking, simply because of our low inventory. Yep. So I just kind of wanted to mention to everybody who's watching, and because we both represent buyers, but we also, of course, do listings. And if you are even considering selling, January, February is such a great time to sell. You know, I've talked so many times about how spring is now, because the numbers that we see in March and April, which are spring, are January, February, going under market. Or going
on market,
not under market, going off market, going pending. And so that January, February is such an important time. Low inventory for you as a seller means more money. It means we can spotlight your home even more than we would normally do, or be able to, just simply because of the low numbers. The buyers are out there and in demand right now, and they're tired. Some of them are weary, and they are ready to have their offers accepted, and they're serious.
Yep.
So if you're even if you're even thinking about it, it's a time to be able to really capitalize on being able to sell. And then what do I do if I sell? Why would I sell? And you were going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, first of all, I mean, I've got 3 buyers I'm showing houses to this weekend. So, I mean, people are definitely out there, and it's tight. I got a call today, and it was a little bit crazy. So I had a showing set up for tomorrow. The agent called me today, and he said that, we changed the deadline to tonight. He said we've had so many offers and so much activity on the house that it's like...
It's overwhelming to sellers, which we touched on a little bit in our last podcast, is that, you know, it's overwhelming. And we try and help minimize that and working with the sellers, but that's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was it's very indicative of what's going on in this market right now, which is, it is crazy. I mean, we are seeing more stuff come on. And you're talking about December numbers. When we did the last podcast, I didn't have the December numbers, inventory numbers out yet, but they came out right after we did it. And we were 0.6 weeks in December, and I know for a fact at the end of the year, and we were below that. And that's the whole metro area.
0.6 weeks, that's
it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks worth of inventory.
Yeah.
I mean, two weeks worth of inventory.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 16 years. I don't think I've ever seen it like that.
No, I've been tracking MLS stats for 7 years now, and it's never been that low.
Yeah, I feel like we're a little bit of a broken record when we talk about the fact that, you know, it's low inventory, things are crazy, but it's really true. And the other thing that we're keeping our eye on, even with our buyers and having conversations with our buyers, we're keeping an eye on the fact that interest rates are going to creep up, and they've already in the last couple of weeks come up a little bit more than they even thought they were going to.
Actually, last week was a little bit of a rough week on interest rates. One of our lender partners gave us a call and let us know that, looking at the stats too. They went up a quarter point last week, up to 3.45. So, that's the highest we've seen in
3.45.
3.45.
I don't think I...
Yeah.
That just sunk in.
Yeah, 3.45. What was it? 8-10 weeks ago, we were at 2.5, 2.75. So they've definitely come up a ways. But let's put it in perspective too. This is the highest they've been since March of 2020. But still, there's even 3.45 is historically. historic means is a low rate. We were seeing rates in 19. We were at about 5.
Yeah.
So
well, here's an old rate for you.
right.
In 1987, when I bought my very first condo, I bought it FHA, and I got a 9% interest rate, which is insanity. 9%, but that was FHA, mind you, and I think rates at the time were like 13% for regular. So, yes, keeping it in perspective, so important to keep a perspective.
I remember my parents getting a second in like 1980. It was nuts. It was like 19% for a second. That's credit card
So
rates.
when we say higher interest, we do mean that. But people are qualifying, our buyers are qualifying for these loans, and it's important. It's all part of that package, and the lower interest rate gives you a little bit more buying power. So I mean, it is important.
Yeah, and I'm going to go over this more in this week. Actually, it'll be next week. The Gile report that I do. I'll be doing a year-end recap and then talking about interest rates more. So I'll get into some more details there, just about what they are and what it means for buyers.
Yeah,
what it looks like.
Yeah. So and to talk also just a little bit about sellers. When I've worked with sellers who's selling, we've worked with people who are relocating. We've worked with downsizers, and we've worked with people who just simply want to capitalize on this market, pull some cash out, and be able to downsize a bit. And they're able to pull out cash. One particular buyer that we were working with, seller, but they also were a buyer, ended up pulling out cash. Were able to put those cash reserves away for their son's college education and pay for that fully. So they had those funds set aside and be able to move on to a new house and still be in an amazing position.
I know,
so
that's really cool.
It is
able
really
to do
cool.
that. I mean,
it's really cool.
Their financial goals.
Their goals. And that was the thing. They sat down with us, they talked with us and said, here's what we are wanting to do. And we're like, okay, we can help you make that happen. And we did, and they're happy with the outcome. So that's one way to be able to capitalize as a seller. The other way is on kind of the thing I'm learning more about. Tom, really, it's really his area of expertise, is the investment side of it, to be able to not maybe sell your home, but even pull out some
equity.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Words escape me occasionally. What can I say? So be able to take out equity, so you could do it that way on your home. Or if you have an investment property already that you've had for, would you say 10 years?
Yeah, I've had it 10 years or so. So a couple different options. Like Vicki said, one of them, you could pull equity out of your house and get a HELOC or something like that. And, take $100,000, $150,000. You can go out and buy a rental home. Go out and buy something like that. You can buy a home for $500,000 or so, and you've got some passive income. So you're making your equity in your house work for you. But on the investor side too, and I talked to a lot of investors. This part's really
interesting to me.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of investors, and everyone's like, I'm really happy with where I'm at. I've owned this property for 15, 20 years. It's working well for me. It's like, it is, maybe, but there's also some opportunity there, because you could do a 1031 exchange. And even though property prices are higher, the thing to consider if you're an investor, you're able to you're able to depreciate the house, the dwelling. You can't depreciate the land, but you can depreciate the dwelling. Most people, if you've owned that house 15 years or so, you've depreciated it all out, or pretty close to it all being depreciated out. You're able to take that money, sell it, do a 1031 exchange, restart your depreciation schedule. So, I did some...
It's food for thought.
Yeah, it's something to think about. So, you can do that, or you might take that money and buy two. So now you've got two properties that are both depreciating. So you've got a tax advantage under the depreciation schedule. You've got, new income for properties out there. So, you kind of have to get beyond the comfort zone of, my property's working for me. Yeah. What's a really smart thing to do? Well, maybe it's working for you, but you might be able to make it work better. So that's something to think about.
Food for thought. It's just, it's those ideas of trying to figure out if that's the thing for you to do if you want to sell, or try and utilize this market and be able to get some equity out. One way or the other. Just, that's kind of what we're here for, is for ideas and thoughts. We see the ins and outs of this every day. So that's, those are some of our top pieces that we have. That's a little bit of our reality.
Yep.
No, realty. I never get that right. Realty versus reality.
Yep.
So that was also another name suggestion that we had, and we loved it. And realty versus reality, that's kind of what we're here to bring you. And so if there's any subjects that anybody is interested in hearing about in our podcast, we would love to get those suggestions. So DM us, or you can just comment below with suggestion ideas as well. And we'd love to get your feedback on what you're thinking of the podcast. Thanks for watching our podcast today, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our social media.
Have questions about the real estate market? Send us an email at askgilegroup@gilegroup.com, or give us a call or shoot us a text.